after that brief interlude, and we're going to have a mirror match here. It's going to be Han Solo on both sides, but it's not a full mirror. So both players are using Han Solo, Audacious Smuggler, as their leader, but on the left, Faith is running the Energy Conversion Lab, and on the right, His Dudeness is running Tarkin Town. So we are going to see an aggression build from His Dudeness versus a command build versus a command build. It looks like they're going to both mulligan, and they're showing each other the mulligan hands. Oh man, Faith has a potentially really strong start here. If he uses Han's ability to put a card from your hand into play as a resource and ready it, he can actually resource one of his cards and then play both R2D2 and C3PO on the same turn for a guaranteed card draw, making up for the card that he resourced and leaving him with two strong units for the early game. I feel like that could be a really good play. You know, maybe you resource that change of plans and then end up with both R2 and C3PO. His Dudeness's opening is going to be substantially weaker. I feel his best play is probably either to use Han's ability and play the Falcon, or to just play R2 and no other unit. So interesting situation there, and I do think Faith is going to have the advantage in this mirror, at least at first. Yeah, he uses Han's ability. Oh no! His Dudeness has missed Faith has missed the play. He's not going to play both R2 and C3PO, or if he does, it's in the wrong order. Oh, so he plays C3PO, guesses 3, hits the resupply, and then the Falcon hits the board. Falcon hits the board here, enters play ready, and swings in for 3 damage to Faith's base. Okay, interesting situation. I feel like Faith could have had a much better play if he had played both R2 and C3PO, but he played C3PO alone, did hit with a 3, and hit a resupply, which is going to accelerate him further in this build. I'm just a little surprised that he didn't get both of them off. J Franny 43, what's up? Good to see you in chat. Says droids are real good with Han. Yeah, I agree. The R2D2 C3PO start is extremely strong, but I think Faith maybe didn't see it here, or maybe wanted to have better tempo going into the next turn, so decided to do something that took fewer actions. Y-Wing Scum, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Y-Wing Scum, I do hope that we see a Y-Wing in this game's future. It is a cool ship and has some nice variety. Oh, nasty. Leia Organa shows up and exhausts the Falcon. Ezra Bridger on the field, 3 cost 3 4. When this unit completes an attack, you look at the top card of your deck and you play it, discard it, or leave it on top. We then see R2. Faith looks at the top card, then swings in with C3PO and draws it, and it's another resupply. What the heck? So that resupply is going to be resourced. Resupply is going to be resourced there. So we could actually see Han seeing the field on Faith's side of the board this turn. Here's the question. Is he going to keep the Falcon in play? I think he can't. With that hand, I think he wants to not keep the Falcon in play, have it go back to hand and play Dodonna. Alternatively, he could use Han's ability to put one of the Hans that he has in hand in play as a resource and have the Falcon in play and play Dodonna. But I think you put it back in hand. That is what he does. Okay, that's fair. That's what I would do. Dodonna on the field, 4 cost 4 4. Other friendly rebel units get +1/+1. That does bring this Ezra Bridger up to 4/5, and it means he can defeat C3PO or R2D2 in one attack. But we could see he's not going to go for the resupply. He's going to bring up Admiral Akbar and kill Dodonna. Admiral Akbar, 3 cost 1/4, restore 1. When played, you may deal damage to a unit equal to the number of units you control in its arena, and takes down Ezra Bridger. J Franny 43 asked, did Dudeness pay to keep the Falcon? Yeah, so on the first turn, he paid with the resource that he was going to remove anyway from Han's ability, which is a nice little trick. And then this turn, he chose not to do that and bring out Ezra, and bring out Dodonna. Ezra defeats Leia. I think he's gonna. Okay, no, he's going for the base. A little surprising. I was sort of expecting R2 and C3PO to both hit Ezra and get him off the board. I think I would have liked that better than 2 damage to the base, even though it would put damage on them. But he does get the guaranteed card draw from the R2D2 C3PO combo, ends up drawing a Millennium Falcon. Now, probably the resupply is going to get resourced here. No, it's a Falcon. Okay. Surprise play there. The resupply is a lot less valuable now that he's reached the threshold to get his leader on the field. Kind of confused by this, but we will see. We will see how this develops. Yeah, I think this board would look a lot better for Faith if R2 and C3PO had cleared Ezra on this last turn. But as it stands, I do think he already has the advantage, so we'll have to see how this goes. Okay, his Dudeness readies up. Both players have some big cards here. Han's ability being used, resource the card here. Going to be that shoot first. Han's ability used on the other side of the board as well. Why the Millennium Falcon? You got to resource that resupply. Okay, he does resource the resupply. Resupply is a much worse card if you don't play it early in the game. Both players now at 6 resources. And that does mean that if they deploy Han and attack with him, they can hit 7 resources this turn. Energy Conversion Lab. Energy Conversion Lab and Lando appears, takes down Han. Lando on the field doesn't return resources, just shows up and takes down his Dudeness' Han before he can be played. That is a big play by Faith. 6-5 stats on Lando are a great answer to the 4-6 stat line of Han Solo on his leader side, and that does mean Lando is still on the board, Han is cleared, and this Han Solo in hand cannot be played. Oh no! What is he doing? He takes Ezra back. I think this is an error. This means that he's not going to be able to play his own Han. No, he decides he's not going to do it. He decides he's not going to do it. Okay, and I think that's correct. I think he wants his own Han on the field this turn. The D ramp here is pretty dangerous. Oh, that's wild. Ezra attacks, and his Dudeness luckily sees Lando on top of the deck and plays him. That is a really good top deck. It was looking like he was going to be stranded at 6 resources without the ability to play either of his 7 costs, just an open fire in hand. But that top decking that Lando is a lot of value. R2 hits the base again instead of Ezra. I would really be clearing Ezra here. I don't know why he hasn't done that yet. If he had cleared Ezra last turn, this Lando would not be on the field. The situation would be so much worse for his Dudeness. He does get the R2D2 C3PO combo there. But it looks like he forgets to use C3PO's ability, maybe? I think he was supposed to have a card draw there, but I don't know what happened to that. And then Akbar kills there. Han could be deployed here and could swing in. No, Han doesn't deploy. Yeah, he just forgets. Or he's deciding to hold it back so he doesn't get killed in one hit by Lando. Either way, not sure. Little bit of an odd turn there, I think. Ultimately, Faith does have the advantage, but I think he could be winning harder if he had played that a little differently. If he had cleared Ezra the turn before, Lando wouldn't be there. The only thing his Dudeness would have been able to do is play an open fire and kill one of those units. And then Faith could have deployed his Han safely without fear that he would be taken out by Lando. This turn, though, we're going to be able to see. This turn, we're probably going to see he'll use his Dune, or Faith can use his Han ability, go up to 7, and then play his Han to kill Lando. The problem is that his Dudeness can then play his Han to kill Faith's Han. So it's actually a much more negative situation than it might appear for Faith, because of the cards that we see in hand here. We could also see Mace Windu come out here. The upside. Okay, so then the droid combo. The droid combo here is real. Droid combo coming in here, and drawing another card here for droid combo, drawing another card here for Faith. Mace Windu on the board. Clears out Akbar. 7 cost 5/7. When this unit attacks and defeats a unit, ready him, and it does have ambush. So now he's readied and can hit the base. And I think Faith's just run out of life here, or run out of HP on the base. I don't. Oh, that is spicy. Change of heart on Mace Windu. Take control of a non-leader unit. Take control of a non-leader unit at the start of the recruit phase. Its owner takes control of it, and then he trades the Mace Windu with that Lando. Now the situation's looking a lot better. Big play there for Faith. I think Faith should probably deploy Leader Han here, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't deploy his Leader Han. Okay, he doesn't deploy Leader Han. I think he's worried that his Dudeness will just take out the Leader Han with his own Han Solo unit, which he knows that he has based on banter or whatever. Um, both players at 7. Okay, let's see how this develops. His Dudeness almost certainly is going to play Han here, but Faith still hasn't deployed his Leader Han. All right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, so we have a I don't know what exactly is going on here. Bit of a standoff. Bit of a standoff. We're probably going to see Han deployed here just because his Dudeness doesn't have other options. He could also just pass. I don't know. Odd situation here. Bit, bit of a weird standoff here. His Dudeness. So Han Solo is a really strong ambush unit. After you play this unit, he may ready and attack an enemy unit. While attacking, this unit deals combat damage before the defender. And so he does end up playing Han, but the problem is he only has a relatively low value target. He kills C-3PO here. And then Han trade. So we see the Faith's Han shows up and takes down his Dudeness's Han, and now Faith should really deploy Leader Han at this point. He has been sitting on it all game, but now is definitely the time to do it. Just throw some damage on the base, develop your board more. He throws R2 in first, dealing 1 damage. Now, here's an interesting dynamic. So, when Leader Han deploys as a unit and attacks, he resources the top card of your deck. And because of that, if R2 just saw a card that Faith doesn't really want, he actually should have left it on top because it would then get resourced. So, interesting situation. Yeah, and there we go. Leader Han finally deploying for Faith. He has sort of slow rolled his leader deployment, but does finally send him in and swings in for 4 damage. And his Dudeness is in big trouble here. I said earlier that it looked like Faith was in trouble, but he pulled off a great play with change of heart that I didn't see coming. Took out 2 strong units with that play, and now is I think in a pretty good position. But let's see if his Dudeness makes the comeback. Han trade once again. So his Dudeness plays another copy of Han and defeats the Han that defeats the Han there that was already in play. So in this situation, though, R2 can attack into Han and die, and then we'll see shoot first, allowing leader Han to kill unit Han. His Dudeness takes the initiative, and there's the shoot first. Very thematically appropriate, though Han Solo attacking himself, maybe less so. So shoot first, attack with a unit, gets +1/+0 for this attack and deals its combat damage before the defender. And now Han backed up by his old buddy Chewie. Chewbacca on the field, 3/6. When this unit is attacked, ready him, and he does have Sentinels. So that is going to provide a little bit of extra security in the ground arena. And no, no, there we go. Okay, Millennium Falcon played and swings in for 3 damage. I thought for a moment that that was not being played, but it looks like his Dudeness just jumped the gun with the draw, and it looks like his Dudeness is conceding the game, so that's a victory for Faith. And Command Han manages to get the win over Aggression Han. Faith had some really strong plays in that game. I think the ambushing in Lando to take out his opponent's Han, and then the play with the change of heart was really sick. Now, I think he could have done better if he had cleared Ezra earlier, but he ends up getting the win anyway. Very interesting gameplay. A lot of tricks in play with 2 tricky bases here: the Energy Conversion Lab in Tarkentown, and then both players playing Cunning, the type that has the most tricks in the game, I believe. Just helping them set up there. Okay, so once again, Faith has the R2D2 C3PO combo in the opening hand. Is he going to go for it? That's the question. Personally, I would. I think it's really good. But he's thinking about it. No, he doesn't do it. Oh, he doesn't do it. Once again, not going for the R2D2 C3PO turn 1 combo, but once again, he hits the top deck off C3PO anyway and gets his card draw without knowing what it is from R2. Whoa, and he resources a Han there. That is a huge surprise. I would have resourced one of the extra R2D2s. Wing Leader comes into play here for his Dudeness, reinforcing Sabine. This is a very scary unit now at 4/5 on attack, may deal 1 damage to the defender or a base. Really solid Sabine here, and going to be a problem, I think, for Faith. You might want to attack with C3PO immediately in order to just attack the base in order to get the opportunity for the card draw. Doesn't go for it. What is he doing here? Admiral Akbar and 2 damage to Sabine, not a really high value play. Sabine kills C3PO. Yeah, really surprising to me that C3PO didn't attack first. Not sure what's going on there. Really surprising to me. Lost the opportunity to potentially get a card draw, and the Akbar play didn't generate any favorable tempo. Takes the initiative at that point. On the plus side, Sabine's damaged now. If he had drawn a shoot first, his Akbar could clear Sabine, but he didn't draw it, and now he's in a pretty disadvantageous position. Now he could ambush in Ezra and kill Sabine, but Ezra would also die, so that's not that high value. He could maybe you just swing with Akbar at the base first attack, and then yeah, you at least get the restore from Akbar there. Sabine probably clears you, but then she's 1 life, and you can ambush in R2, kill Sabine, look at your top card, and then play Ezra. That's not a terrible line of play. Although you don't really want to use the energy conversion lab this early. Yeah, and so his Dudeness indeed has Sabine kill Admiral Akbar and deal 1 to the base. So I do think we now have the potential. Ezra played out normally here, 3 cost 3/4 when this unit completes an attack. Look at the top card of your deck. You may play it, discard it, or leave it on top. Doesn't get a chance to do anything though because he's hit by open fire. R2 is not played with the energy conversion. Okay, that's fair. If the wing leader attacks, then we can take the initiative, have R2 clear Sabine. But actually, his Dudeness takes the initiative before Faith can do so. Okay, that's fair. So he's leaving the energy conversion lab up. This does mean Sabine can hit his base for 5 this turn before R2 potentially clears her, but maybe that's okay. Both players in position to potentially get their leader Han and the unit Han out this turn. 5 damage to the base from Sabine Wren. R2 makes the trade. Kind of dubious to go for the trade there compared to starting your Han charge up cycle or whatever you want to call it here. But I think ultimately reasonable. His Dudeness resourcing Mace Windu there. Has unfortunately only high value cards to resource, so he has to pick one of them. So what are we going to see here? C3PO. Guesses 3 probably? Millennium Falcon. So the blind C3PO guessing 3 does get a hit. There must be a lot of 3-card cost cards in this deck. Han is on the field now, though, and will probably kill that C3PO in one attack. But it would leave him on 5 life. I don't know. 5's not really a super critical breakpoint. It would let other Han kill him in one go with shoot first. Millennium Falcon hits the field. 3 cost 3 foreigners play ready. When you ready cards during the regroup phase, either pay 1 or return the unit to her owner's hand. I think Faith is avoiding playing into the ground arena here so that he doesn't get blown out by an enemy Han Solo, but we'll have to see. Han takes that C3PO and resources another card. That does mean that Han Solo unit can now be played, or we could see Lando scene play. Either option is pretty reasonable. Falcon kills the wing leader. It might have been better to attack with the wing leader first rather than attacking with Han first, because that way you would avoid losing the 2 damage there when the Millennium Falcon clears it. Probably going to see a delayed leader play here for Faith. Not 100% sure, but that seems to be the way that it's leaning here. Faith kind of reorganizing his resources or something. I think he had them stacked a certain way. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know what he's doing there. So probably the play here is Lando because there's no ambush value from Han. Oh no, it's going to be Han without ambush value. Okay. Han played with no ambush value, 6/6, while attacking this unit deals combat damage before the defender. I think it would have been better to bring out Lando instead of Han in that situation, but ended up opting not to do that. Maybe saving Lando for a later game play when he can deramp with more value. Or actually, he can play Lando this turn now. Okay, so that's actually quite reasonable because he wouldn't. He can now play Lando this turn. Although I guess he could have played Han this turn also if he attacked with his Han first. Yeah, I don't know. Is the Millennium Falcon going to stay in play? No, it's not. Withdrawn back to hand. So this is the interesting thing with Millennium Falcon. It when you ready cards during the regroup phase, either pay 1 or return the unit to her owner's hand. And Faith does opt to just have it head back to hand. That does have the nice effect of removing the damage on it. That also means they'll have another resource available, which will allow him to potentially do Han unit this turn. Oh no, it's a change of heart, and he takes control of his opponent's Han. Oh, counterplayed by a change of heart on the other side of the board. So Faith used change of heart to control the unit Han there to take down his opponent's leader Han, only for his Dudeness to counter with the same card. Rip. That's going to be the whole turn for Faith. I personally am not sure that was that good. I think it might have been better to just use Han's ability and then send in your Han to kill his Han. I think that probably would have been substantially better, in fact. But that's not what he opted for, and now he's taken 10 damage to the base. And Faith real low on life here. We're gonna see if he can make the comeback. Han is actually a kind of bad target for Change of Heart because ideally you want to take control of an enemy unit that will then die when it attacks another enemy unit. So Han living after making the attack is actually unfavorable. So Unit Han comes out and defeats the other Unit Han. This is, I think, what I probably would have done on the previous turn if I were in Faith's shoes. Not entirely sure. That does leave the board advantageous for Faith, but his Dudeness hasn't spent any resources and can bring out either Lando or Mace Windu this turn. Other Han swings into the base. No, he's rethinking it. So one thing he could do is he could just hit Han. He could just hit the enemy Han here, die, but that will allow him to play Mace Windu and ambush that Han, killing him, and then allowing Mace Windu to hit the base and clearing a unit that can be really difficult to deal with because he doesn't have other good options against Han at this point. However, the life total is so low that maybe he just wants to push for damage to the base. If he draws a surprise strike, no, he's doing it. He's going to try to clear this Han. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. Wow! Faith doesn't deploy Han. That is a big surprise. Just takes the initiative. Tarkin Town used to clear Han. Lando now being played. Really, really surprising to me that he didn't play his own Han here. I think he's slow rolling it too hard. Oh, and Lando for big value, returning a Han Solo unit to hand. This is a very bad situation for Faith now. Let's see if he can make the comeback. Rogue One might be his best option. I think not having your own Han in hand is in play is so unfortunate here. Just having that extra unit on there, I know Lando can kill him, but actually, there's a surprise strike, so Lando can just win the game. Oh, but he's a waylay comes out here, returns Lando to the hand. So the surprise strike game-winning play is not going to get a chance to be made. Surprise strike is an event here. 2-cost attack with a unit gets +3/+0 for this attack. So it would allow Lando to hit for strength 9 and close out the game. Okay, so now what do we have? We got an Agent Callus. Agent Callus or Millennium Falcon, probably the best plays. This is a weird game. Han Mirror is complicated. Lando replay. So he could bring out Han, attack into Lando, die, and then play Callus and kill Lando and draw a card. But that's actually really bad. The problem is that he loses immediately to Surprise Strike. And Lando actually has Saboteur, so a Sentinel doesn't help. So he actually just takes the initiative. Doesn't draw out a good answer to Lando here, except he does have an Asteroid Sanctuary, which I guess that's okay. The problem is that his Asteroid Sanctuary wouldn't get full effect because he doesn't have a friendly unit that costs 3 or less to give the shield. However, he is able to just do the exhaust. The exhaust is some good value. But there's just too many units here. I think it's gonna get killed. There's too many strong units that his Dudeness has access to, and Faith has been I think Faith has been slow rolling this too hard. We'll have to see though. Does still have the energy conversion lab for whatever that's worth. Not a ton with this hand. If he gets an extra resource, he will be able to potentially put in home one. Plays Han, but there isn't a good counter. So playing out Han with no ambush, But the problem is there isn't a good counter. Here's a question. Does he have a fleet lieutenant? So he could potentially bring out home one and then okay. So he plays a card. He uses Han's ability. His Dudeness claims. Han deploys. He's gonna pay 8 for home one. Restore 2. Each other friendly unit gains restore 1. When played, play a rebel unit from your discard. It costs 1 less. Does he have or it costs 3 less? So he can bring out Akbar or Ezra Bridger here probably. So if he brings out uh Akbar, he can deal 2 damage to the enemy Han and then clear him with his Han. That's probably the best play he can do here. Yeah, so I think I think you do 2 damage to the enemy Han and then use your Han to clear. I think that's better than Lando because the otherwise that damage on Han's going to be really annoying. Yeah, and that's exactly what he does. So he restores 1 life from doing that, which now means he's not in surprise strike range, and he has the powerful home one available in the space arena. So this is a pretty wacky play. Pretty wacky play there, but I think might be what he needs to do in order to remain in this game. This is a crazy game. And keep in mind that energy conversion lab still hasn't been used. And he's deciding which resources to discard. So with his Han abilities, at the start of the next action phase, defeat a resource you control. This actually leads to some really interesting gameplay where it's like choosing the right unit to be removed in order to choosing the right unit to be removed in order to get the to prepare the discard pile for a potential when played effect from home one, which would allow you to get a unit back. All right, his Dudeness does have the initiative. It's 10 life to 24 life, and Lando is on the field. His Dudeness could use. Okay, his Dudeness just throws Lando 6 damage to the base right here, right now. Probably the best move here is to attack with Akbar. Attacking with Akbar here would allow him to restore 2. Restore is cumulative, so Akbar has restore 1, and then home 1 grants another restore 1. So if he attacks Akbar into Lando, yeah, so if Lando attacks immediately, if Akbar attacks into Lando, he heals the base for 2, and then Lando can actually be killed by Agent Callus. No, he doesn't attack Lando, he attacks the base. I think that's significantly worse than hitting Lando here. Oh no, you know what? He can still clear Lando with Han Solo. Mace Windu shows up and takes out Mace Windu shows up and takes out Akbar. Han Solo shows up and takes down Mace Windu plus 1 life. So it actually heals up to 9 here, but 9 is unfortunately not what he needs. His Dudeness takes the initiative, and then it's going to be a surprise strike for the win. Plus 3, still in surprise strike range. Attack with a unit gets plus 3, plus 0 for this attack. If he had had another change of heart like he did in the first game to make the Mace Windu take out Lando, he very possibly could have won this with the power of home one. But ultimately, his Dudeness does get the win. Very intense game. These were some really interesting games. These Han mirrors with lots of little tricks and turns. Unfortunately, I believe his Dudeness has to go, so we're not going to see, I think, a round 3 of this matchup. I'd love to show more of it, but I think that's going to do it for now. Yeah, Faith says no game 3 in chat. So thanks to you guys for watching. That was some exciting Star Wars Unlimited streaming. I think the that second set of games with the Han mirrors was cool enough that I'll probably be sending it over to YouTube sometime soon. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks to y'all for watching, and we'll be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. I will catch you guys later.